let's talk a little bit about Coach Matheson.
Okay.
What has it been like coaching under Coach Matheson, working for Coach Matheson, and adapting to his way of doing things and his philosophy? And how do you think you've worked to align your thinking to his approach to offensive football? Loaded question, I know, but I hope you. I worked really hard on that question, but
Yeah. The biggest thing to adapt to was the lunch schedule, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that later on.
dude,
But
it's a grind. It's a grind. You got to prepare for it. It's not easy. It's not for
yeah,
the faint of heart.
no, it is not. But no, I mean, Coach Matheson is great to work for. He's, again, another person that's just straight with you, and he's one of the smartest coaches that my dog's
Oh, you're
causing a
fine.
ruckus here. He's an incredibly smart coach. He's one of the smartest coaches in the nation, I would say, with all the stuff that he's doing. And it has opened up my eyes to being like a little different. Like, it's okay to be a little different with your offensive scheme. Like, River Falls, like, we're a little different than your most like college football offense, I would say. And that it's been awesome to work under him. And then it also, my job is making sure those tight ends are playing the hardest that they can for the whole entire game. And it doesn't matter if you get 20, 30, or if you're playing all 90 reps. It's my job to make sure that his vision of this offense can go.
I feel like a lot of young coaches at times don't look at it this way, and I say that because I was one of those coaches that didn't see it that way. Is that the best way to be a first time coach or a younger coach is to look at it that way. Look at it like my job is just to make this guy's vision go. Because eventually, hopefully, you're going to be in that position where you're going to want those young coaches to try to bring your vision to life versus just thinking about what you're doing in that moment and what you're trying to get out of it and what you're trying and being, maybe a little bit more selfish from it. And I think that's so crucial when thinking about, okay, what do I need to do and what do I need to get my particular players to do to go and perform their best?
Yeah,
And
no
you
doubt.
talked about how Coach Matheson thinks differently. How would you describe that? Because it's so true. The way that he looks at offensive football and the way that he thinks about, I would say particularly like maybe not the run game is the right way to say it, but like the 30,000 foot view, and he sees the whole field, and I feel like he just sees space differently. He sees numbers, leverage, grass differently. He just sees it in a different way. How would you describe that?
You kind of hit the like nail on the head. Like, he just sees everything in a different light,
Yeah.
and he knows like where fitters are going to be coming from and where we can attack the space in the RPO game just based on every different run scheme and everything. Being able to find like the correct RPO for this situation, or, you know, getting into our weird stack formations and everything and getting into empty and running the quarterback, like that sort of thing is something that I wouldn't have ever thought about.
Yeah. I think he does a great job of marrying up all 11 players on the field with, okay, this run scheme is going to work with this RPO. Do we have numbers to throw the bubble? Do we have space to run it to this side? It's simple, but I feel like it's overlooked at times seeing that bigger pit and seeing that whole
Yeah.
field versus getting super, I don't want to say analytical, but trying to overcoach one thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when I had Coach Wood on, we talked about what it's like being next to Coach Matheson in the press box. I think he summed it up perfectly. How it's intense, it's passionate, it's like hilarious at the same time. How would you describe Coach Matheson on game day?
Coach Matheson on game day, I feel like there's two different versions that you can get based on, like, I don't want to say like opponent, but like based on how the way the game is going. Like, if we're putting up a bunch of points and it's our offense is clicking and it's going fast and we're able to, pull some guys out and everything, that's when he is at his highest of like no, we need to make sure that we keep the standard up here and not let it drop one single bit. That is that is when he is firing at Coach Walker to making sure that we're okay down the sidelines and like on the sidelines, or not goofing around, making sure, talking to our signaler, because our signaler, he's talking to our receivers there on the sidelines, since Coach Matheson and I are both up in the box, and like our signaler grilling into our receivers, like making sure that we're blocking and finishing on blocks, like on the perimeter and everything. And then when we're playing in these closer tight games, like showing that passion, that energy when something happens, or like, you're up there with us, like we score a big touchdown, we're banging on the glass, like right
we're
there,
out of control.
The fans who are right in front of us are looking back at us like, what the hell are they doing up
Yeah.
there? Like, who are these crazy people sitting behind us? With the addition of video and everything with this last season, like getting like right after the drive's over, like he's getting into the iPad and he's looking at like a few plays from the last drive that he remembered that he wanted to see for sure. And he's like, no, now I figured out what we got to do instead of that. It's like, you just looked at that for 15 seconds, but okay.
What was your guys' first year with the video like? I know mine was like hell on wheels as I was trying to figure that shit out. But what was your experience like with it? How did it help?
I would say it was very positive. We're happy that video is a part of game at the D3 level, and it had its ups and downs. I remember we were over in Ohio playing Mount St. Joe's, and it's downpour rain, and our video crew was on the opposite side of the press box. Well, we weren't getting any video from our side of the press box because the connections and stuff weren't finding each other, and we're like, we need video, like for this game, like for sure. And so I had to, get on the phone and call one of our filmers and being like, hey, you need to move the camera to the other side of the press box in this like downpour hurricane rain going on, like. And so it was that sort of stuff going on, and we had our issues there, but when it worked, it was amazing. It was something that really helped us, just being able to see how teams are aligning to us since we play so fast. It's been a big crucial thing. We would miss some here and there, but
we used Sports Scope, and it was good. It was great when it worked, but there would definitely be times where we would just be missing like 3 or 4 clips in a row. And it sucks because I remember being up there with you guys in 23, and like shit, my last year there, I was like charting like individually like where DBs are, like, and like I had like this stack of paper. You remember that big ass book I used to carry around? And like Coach Matheson be like, oh yeah, show me the last drive. And I'm just like handing him like stacks of paper trying to like and he's like, what play was that? And I was like, shit, I don't know. Like like it's hard, but now it's like that job in the press box is totally obsolete now. Like you never like, and it's only gonna keep getting better. Obviously it was the first year that we did it as coaches.